Let me ask you a question. How secure is your WordPress site really? And are you sure? Or are you just assuming it is because you're using good hosts, popular plugins, and well-known services? We'll come back to that one in a moment. In 2012, we had one of the biggest recessions in global history because our governments assumed bankers were doing a good job. Of course, those assumptions proved pretty reckless. But what if our assumptions about WordPress security are equally wrong? How much money would you lose, and what would your site be worth if it was hacked? In a moment, we're going to hack a live WordPress site. And not just any site, a site running what is commonly assumed as the best security software. Now we're doing that to prove a point, and that is all current security products are totally ineffective against exploits. Believe it or not, exploits are the #1 method used by hackers, and they make up 92% of all direct hacking attacks. And yet somehow the security industry has buried its head in the sand and ignored this. It's also the #1 method used by terrorists, hacktivists. As you can see here, this is my friend's site which was hacked in exactly the same way last month. Now the FBI warned WordPress users about vulnerabilities and exploits earlier this year, yet no one has addressed this problem. Exploits themselves are pretty useless without vulnerabilities. Now vulnerabilities are simple programming mistakes. And let's face it, most of the software written in WordPress is written by amateurs, and it's hardly surprising, therefore, that there are thousands of new vulnerabilities discovered every year. What you're seeing here are vulnerabilities found in the last few days alone. Now what's more surprising is the vulnerabilities we found using our software in major security plugins just last week. These plugins are used by millions, so who knows how many sites have been hacked and how many are now harboring backdoors. Now I know this is all hard to believe, so for the first time in WordPress security history, we're going to hack a live WordPress site. Let me now pass you on to my partner, Michael Thomas.
As you can see, this is a brand new site running the latest version of WordPress. I also have some of the best security plugins installed. I've got Bulletproof Security, WordFence, and Acunetics WP Security. These are all configured as per their best practices, and they're all set up and ready to go. Now, I'm just going to switch over to a different browser. So this is another browser here, and as you can see, I'm logged out on this one. I'm just going to refresh the page and make sure everything looks fine. So there goes the page refreshing, and it all looks great. Now, there is a vulnerability on this site. It's a very well-known one, so there should be no reason why these security products should have any trouble in protecting against it. I'm going to go ahead and download it now. Okay, I'm back again. I've downloaded it from a vulnerability site just like this one. Now I'm just going to scroll down on this post, and I'm going to paste the exploit into the comment field. I'm going to pop in a name, hacker, an email, hacker@hacked.me, and a website, hacked.me. Then I'll click on post comment. And now, as you can see, this website has been replaced with this. Now, as a hacker, I can display whatever content I want on this site. It could be a hacktivism page, a fake shopping site, an attack page which installs password stealing malware, and so on and so on. So all it really takes is one badly written theme, plugin, or one bad update, and your site is wide open to this kind of hacking, and you will never know what caused it. This is why we developed WP Site Guardian. It's a securely coded plugin that detects intruders. So now, if a hacker attempts to deploy an exploit like this one, they'll get blocked and you'll get notified. Let me show you. So here is our site again. I've just spent some time cleaning up after the hack. In actual fact, I had to restore from a backup. It took quite some time. Now I'm just going to enable WP Site Guardian, which is very simple to enable, as you can see. There are some advanced settings you can play with, which are covered in the video tutorials. But for now, I'm just going to run with the default settings, and we'll try that exploit again. So I'm just going to click on Enabled Most Sites and Save Changes. And we're protected. Now I'm going to switch back to our previous browser. I'm just going to refresh that because I've removed the hack. And now I'm going to paste that exploit back in again, and we're going to click on Post Comment. Now, as you can see, I've now just been banned because the exploit was so severe that WP Site Guardian blocked my IP address. So, as a hacker, I can no longer attack this site, and the site is well protected. It's done its job, and it's blocked the attack perfectly. Now, I'm quite lucky in that I'm actually left logged in on this site over here, so I can have a look through even though my IP has been blocked from the outside. Now I'm going to scroll on down, and you can see we've got this hack attempt log here. Now this log keeps track of all of the potential attacks that happen against the site, so that you can have a look through and see what's happening. Now at the same time, you're also going to receive an email notification to tell you about any potential attacks against your site, so that if your site comes under heavy attack, you can take proactive measures to combat it.
So as you have seen, that was the latest version of WordPress running the best security plugins, and it was hacked in seconds using an exploit. Exploits make up 92% of direct attacks on WordPress, yet not a single free or paid security product we tested was able to deal with this kind of attack. In fact, we tested iThemes, WordFence, Acunetics, Bulletproofs, all-in-one WP Security, and more. They all failed, which is exactly why we created WP Site Guardian. Now, our plugin protects not just against existing exploits, but also future exploits by detecting attack signatures. Now, to protect your site further, WP Site Guardian also sends you real-time information about any attempted attack on your site, allowing you to update or remove the problem plugin or theme when necessary. Now, this is a brand new product, so as a special thanks to our early customers, we have a fantastic deal for you, which we will not repeat again at this price. So on behalf of myself, Chris Hitman, and Michael Thomas, the product creator, thanks very much for watching, and we look forward to helping you secure your sites. Hi and welcome to WP Site Guardian 2017. In a moment, I'm going to show you how toxic the WordPress environment is right now. This is actually running on one of my sites. It's been running for about a year, so we have some data, and you can really see how bad things are. Now, the reason why this product came about is because we noticed as a company that majority of the WordPress plugins out there were unable to deal with exploits, or certainly were themselves vulnerable. So let me give you more details about that. And as you can see, this is a site called WP Scan, which has a live database of current vulnerabilities. And you can see this is WordFence. It's had loads of vulnerabilities in the last 28 months. And again, this is Bulletproof, and this is all-in-one WP Security, better WP Security. This is Acunetics, and this is us. Okay, we've had none in the last 12 months. We're proud of that record. Now, we're not specifically picking on these WordPress security plugins. We think basically that majority of plugins out there actually have a vulnerability of one form or another because of the way they're written, and essentially majority of them are written by amateurs. So you are going to get the odd mistake in the code, and someone is just going to find it and pick on that, and that's the reason why these things come about. And it's not just security plugins basically that have this problem. There's over 10,000 vulnerabilities right now on all the other plugins, so it's not just those guys. But if you are trying to protect a site, 95% approximately of all attacks come via vulnerabilities, and these attackers essentially use exploits to take control of your site. Some of you would have seen the demonstration we had, which we did a few weeks ago, on how quickly we can get access to a WordPress site, and we did that in a matter of seconds. So it's extremely important to protect against that. So without further ado, let me go and show you around the product. So the first thing that you will need to do is install your license key and then switch or enable the product on. Now, if you're running under Cloudflare, you'll need to use a different option, and again, same if you're running under a proxy. And so we have two default messages. One's a blocked message, one's a banned message. These are slightly different. One is for suspicious behavior, the other one is pretty much outright a hacking attempt. So anybody who tries to hack your site will get an automatic, you're banned, that's it, you're done. Let me show you what we've added in this product this year. And what we've added statistics. Now this is actually a 2-week window, which shows you what's actually happened on my site in the last 2 weeks alone. As you can see, my site's been attacked 1,717 times. That's pretty toxic, and it's been particularly bad on this day here. So it's a nice way of seeing basically exactly how this product is working. Let me go and take you through the next section, which is the plugin vulnerabilities. And as you can see, I've actually been notified about this. So I've got a vulnerability in a plugin called Add Link to Facebook, and it's a pretty serious one. It's an XSS, so I need to be dealing with that. And again, I've got another vulnerability in a plugin called WP Clone, so I need to be disabling those, removing those plugins entirely. I don't need that kind of code running. We have got a whitelisting IPs area for obvious reasons. If you've got administrators on here, you need to be doing that. And we've also got a blocked IP section, which again allows you to go and add your own blacklists if you have any. And one final thing before I close off. Actually, there's 2 final things, so I lied. Just want to show you basically what actually happens in the logs, so you actually see what's happening and what kind of attacks basically my site's been getting. So it's been getting loads of attacks against my login area, as you can see down here, using cross-site scripting. So they've been trying to get access via the login window. And here's an interesting one as well. They've been trying to get access to my WP config PHP backup file. So they're looking for that and trying to get access to information, or trying to essentially find information to hack my site with. And again, this is pretty recent stuff, you know. It's so that's what WP Site Guardian protects your site against. Okay, so one final thing this time. I'm actually going to go to settings and show you in the advanced area. Now, for those customers who buy the Pro version, we have 2 really cool things basically in the Pro side, and that is we've got vulnerability scanning basically of all your plugins on a daily basis. So if something is found within one of your plugins against a real database, we pay for this service and we get this data back, then send you that information, essentially saying, look, you know, one of your plugins or 2 of your plugins are vulnerable. It gives you the option to proactively secure your site and at least basically get rid of those plugins or change them for something which is not vulnerable. One last thing is we also embed a live blacklist onto your site daily. This is actually a daily updated blacklist of bad rogue IPs which we've known. We use a really good source for this, and every single site that actually runs under the Pro version is automatically updated daily with this blacklist. So essentially it runs a preventative piece of coding which automatically blocks these kind of people from even accessing your site. So as you can see, this is a pretty essential piece of kit for any WordPress website owner, and of course we've got a special offer on this during the launch period. So thanks for watching, and we hope to see you on board.